Okay, everyone, welcome to weeks 5 and 6, Make Cycle 3, which is called Expository Texts. I've finished skimming some of your stories today from our last Make Cycle, and as usual, just so really impressed with all the work that you all did with your stories. I will give feedback on those tomorrow, Tuesday, and give you a great update and stuff, but I just am so impressed with the range of the way we approach storytelling. Some of you did kind of funny or kind of adorable, really cool work with Story Jumper and those kinds of things. And some of you wrote some really poignant, inspiring, very raw stuff. And I'm so grateful for you taking some risks and writing these stories. They're really fun, even just a first skim. So I look forward to spending a little more time with them tomorrow morning. So thank you. I'm just really grateful for this class, how encouraging you are of each other too, and how you've just taken up this work. So expository text are texts usually, if you look at definitions of that, are texts that inform or give instructions. Most of what we read that's nonfiction in the world could be called an expository text. So a book about dolphins or something can be an expository text. And I have to say, of all the things we ask students to do, if you were to Google lesson plans for expository text, it's where you see the strangest stuff, the stuff that's often the stuff that turns kids off to writing to begin with. So it's where you'll find we give kids so many templates and worksheets and starter sentences and stuff in the name of being supportive, when really we often make them more confused. I think I've said this before, but I don't think of any text in the world as being quite that tidy. Like, I don't think of anything as just storytelling or just expository or just argument. Mostly those things weave through all kinds of texts. You use a story to make a claim. You start with a story and then give some information and then make an argument. There's lots of ways in which all those, structures are a part of a text. But having said that, I think there's some advantage to kind of focusing in on some particular practice. In this case, what kinds of texts, nonfiction texts, might we create? So we're going to start by reading from About the Authors again this next week. You're going to do Chapter 2 and Appendix C by Wednesday and kind of talk through your takeaways, which you did such a good job with Chapter 1, so similar idea. And then by Friday, we'll read Chapter 3 and Appendix D. I'm asking you, with Friday's thing, to also look up Appendix D. Has some resources that they list that are authors that they like. A very short list of a few authors who fit some or all of our mentor criteria for our youngest writers. And so I'm going to ask you to look up one of these authors and see what you can find and think about why their work might make good mentor texts. So that's one thing for Friday. Then next week, we'll have our own mentor texts again. One of the things I'm going to have you read is Are You a Dragonfly?, which I think is just a great model for an expository text that's still playful. If you've never seen Edward Gorey's ABC book, you've been warned. It's a very brutal ABC book that's also just really dark humor and kind of funny. And then I'm going to have you look at some Pictochart kind of infographic stuff and think about how that might be inspiring for one of your makes. And then we'll end with expository makes. I'm going to invite you that you could take a story that you wrote and make it more expository. So I gave the example, someone from Peter Kittle's class actually wrote about her freshman year. And I was saying you could turn that into kind of pro tips for your freshman year, or like facts about freshman year to go along with the story. There's a lot of ways to do this. You could even do a video, like an Instructables kind of video explaining how to do something. Just lots of options here. So that's how we'll end those makes. I can imagine you doing some sort of research on stuff that you've always wondered about. Like, the Are You a Dragonfly book is a really good example for, like, if you've been interested in ladybugs or butterflies or rainbows or frogs or whatever, you could look up your own facts and then think about how you turn that into a book that's a playful way to share those facts. So yeah, lots of ways to do this. I think that's all I have to say about that. I'm trying to get over this cold. I'm day 4. I don't feel very good, but getting there. What is good is the work you're all doing. So thanks so much, and look forward to seeing where we go next.